3 must-do tricep movements you have to have in your routine to build big arms. What's going on, guys? Larry here, getting ready to slam an arm workout, but I wanted to specifically talk about triceps today. The reason being is that it does, contrary to popular belief, does make up the majority of the upper arm, all right? So the tricep is comprised of 3 heads, and what we're gonna do today is that we're gonna hit all of them, all right? But we're not gonna use a whole lot of movements. We're going to pick a couple of movements, 3, and then we're just gonna work them real hard. So what you'll see in this video and what I'll explain throughout is the reasoning for each movement and why these need to be, at least in some form or fashion, inside of your overall training program. These are tried and true exercises. These are tried and true variations. So I highly recommend you lock in, pay attention, and we'll build you some big arms for the end of 2025 going into 2026, all right? So without further ado, let's get moving. Okay, first exercise in the rotation is none other than the close grip bench press. Probably one of my more favorite movements that I don't normally do these days. One thing that you want to make sure that you're doing is that you are warming up with an empty bar. And this comes from my time as a powerlifter because I know how things can go wrong if you just load up the bar. So you want to make sure that you connect with the bar, grab it, get some good warm-ups in, approach them as your maximum sets, and then just slowly work up. So it was the bar, 25, one plate in the 25, and then that was my pyramid for the close grip bench press. Now, seeing is that I have not done this exercise in a while, it took me a little bit longer to warm up than most. If this was in my rotation pretty good, it wouldn't have taken me as long. But again, every time you grab a barbell, it is a bit of a stress on the system. And even though it was manageable weight I was doing, I still had to be careful in making sure I performed each rep good through a full range of motion, even though I'm not touching my chest, to make sure that my triceps were good and ready to go. All right, so here's something to understand with the close grip bench press. So after you obviously warm up, progress and all that, and once you get to your working weight, when you're doing the close grip bench press, you want to make sure that your eyes line up with the bar. You want to set up like a power lifter doing their assistance work with this, right? Because this is kind of an assistance exercise for a lot of power lifters. I like to line up my eyes with the bar, and then instead of just pressing up, I like to like kind of pull it out, and that way I'm keeping pressure on my triceps. Sets and reps, that's going to be up to you. Today we're doing some GVT and doing 10 sets of 6. So making sure I try to get that 4-second eccentric. I don't need to have 225 on the bar, 275, 315 on the bar. For close grip bench press, them days are kind of, well, for 225 I could probably do, but seeing as I'm doing so much volume, 10 sets of 6, 175, 185 rather, is a pretty good amount of weight. So remember, I'm going to pull back my sleeves and show you, hey, you need to keep your wrists straight during this movement. You don't want them to bend back, but you just want to keep them straight throughout. More difficult variation of the close grip bench press is doing it on the incline. I got this from Christian Thibodeau years ago, and I've been fairly inconsistent with it, but when I was in my bag a little bit with this, I got pretty strong on it, and it did help me develop the back of my arms. So we're going to do it today. Split the GVT in half, 5 on the flat, 5 on the incline, and we're going to finish out this strong. But close grip bench presses, I feel, at any age can really put some meat on those back arms, as Josh Bryant likes to say. Now I may go a little bit lighter, so don't shoot me on this. All right, next up are a variation of tricep extensions. We're gonna do two types, but this first one is a free weight version. You see me do normal extensions, but now you're going to see me doing from a dead stop. This will build up a lot of size, and I have to credit Dante Trudell, the creator of Dog Crap Trainer, for bringing these to the forefront in bodybuilding. They've fallen out of favor, of course, like a lot of things in this industry, but this is a great way to build mass and to get strong if you're a power lifter for the bench press. So I'm not going heavy on these 25s for a couple sets, make it fast, and then move on to our last movement, and that'll be it for triceps. So keep in mind that you want to pause each rep on the floor, and have a powerful concentric, and still control the eccentric. Inside grip, get comfortable as much as you can. Oh, that's kind of heavy. Fuck it. Oh, God. All right. Single arm extensions. Generally, I like to do these on a machine, but that's not available today. So I'm going to do this with a single arm pulley. Uh, Again, where you saw me do the dead stop extension, that eliminated the stretch reflex from the movement. This will give me that stretch reflex, and it acts as a rebound when you want to do another rep. But we're going to resist that urge to bounce and just keep the movement as strict as possible. And that'll be it for triceps. Oh, it's too light. Yeah, I'll deal with this. I'm gonna learn to be quiet when I say something's too light after I've just did a boatload of work. Uh, 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 ah. All right, guys, triceps are over. I'm hoping you picked up a little bit of a tidbit of information from me. And I'm hoping you incorporate it in your next workout. But those are tricep movements that I think everyone should have in their routine. I think, the weights are obviously going to scale to what you can do effectively within a given rep range, whether it be lower, whether it be higher. But I think the main thing that you need to understand is the placement of the exercises, the volume you do, and most importantly, the effort in which you put forth. You may be gassed after 2 sets. It may take you 5 sets to really get into a movement, but it's important to connect with it, put forth maximum effort, and whatever that looks like for you. And as long as you can build upon that, then your triceps are going to grow. So with that being said, thanks for tuning in. Thanks for watching. I really appreciate you guys. Please like, subscribe to the channel, and I'll be bringing much more to you. So until next time, Larry out.